No rules, no excuses, it's time to take it to the streets. Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 movie street fights.
So come on, hit me before I lose my nerve.
For this list, we're defining street fighting as hand-to-hand combat in public places, and are looking at the most memorable big screen battles that fit the criteria. We're allowing for the possibility of weapons, team-ups, or even revenge-based fights, but excluding films like Bloodsport. Number 10, Mark Darcy vs. Daniel Cleaver, Bridget Jones' Diary. What do you think when you hear the words street fight?
This.
How about 2 minutes of fumbling and shoving that leads to absolutely nothing?
It's a real fight!
Taking a step away from the move-for-move perfect fights we're used to, Colin Firth and Hugh Grant put on a fantastic display of missed moves and shooting awkward looks at each other in this romantic comedy. There's no denying how technically awful the fighting is, but there's also no denying how funny the scene is either.
Ow, 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 ow! Whose side are we on?
Mark's, obviously. He's never dumped Bridget, some naked American.
Number 9, Jake Tyler vs. Guys in a Hummer, Never Back Down.
Back in the car, it.
This Karate Kid-inspired flick is filled to the brim with fights. So what happens when 3 random guys storm out of their car looking for a fight? Pent up with anger and revenge, Jake meets his opponents head-on. Flips and twists make up this dance of offense as tension builds between each throw into the road. What makes this fight work is the flow between one standoff to the next. It's an opera in street fighting. Number 8, Jack Cates vs. Reggie Hammond, 48 Hours.
I'm serious. I'm not in no mood, and I'm just gonna end up f***ing you up out here. It's gonna be embarrassment to you and the police force.
If there's one thing we've learned, it's never underestimate the power of Eddie Murphy, even when it comes to fisticuffs. When you're in an unlikely buddy cop movie, chances are you'll need to let off a bit of steam every once in a while. Striking hard in a boxing-style offense, Jack and Reggie face off to settle their differences in the city streets. Making good use of their various props, such as car doors, this is a powerhouse street fight perfectly illuminated by the dusty streetlights. Number 7, the backstore street fight, fighting. What's better than a street fight starring Channing Tatum? A chorus of drum beats to put the cherry on top of every punch. Everybody likes seeing the pretty boy get choked out, except Michael Rivera's Ajax, who decides to lump into the action himself. Tension and drama boils up and spills out of the backstreets and into the humble store itself, as the show goes on and on. Quick cuts and stoic faces keep the action alive in this street fighting-based flick. Number 6, John Nada vs. Frank Armitage, They Live.
Try these on.
He came here to kick ass in the streets and chew bubblegum.
And I'm all out of bubblegum.
A playful misunderstanding leads to a radiant show of punches from Frank Armitage, but sadly, he seems to forget that he's fighting John Nada. And worse still, he's actually fighting Rowdy Roddy Piper.
I don't want to fight you. Come on! I don't want to fight you. Stop it!
No!
Put on the glasses.
A fight that's as hilarious as it is hard-hitting, with plenty of nut-busting kicks and even more apologies.
Man, I told you, I didn't want to be in.
The fight draws on and on over the most simple of requests. Just try on the damn glasses.
Take a look. Put them on. No!
Number 5. Martin Riggs vs. Joshua, Lethal Weapon.
What do you say, Jack? Would you like a shot at the title?
No shirts, spotlights, and a whole lot of wetness. Truly, this is the perfect location for a good old-fashioned street fight. Amid the fast punches and kicks, Joshua brandishes his own lethal weapon, swinging for the fences at Martin Riggs. Cutting between point-of-view cameras, every audience member is allowed to feel the harsh battle right before their eyes. Flowing seamlessly between fast hits, grapples, and weapon-style fights, this darkened fight highlights the drama that only an 80s action movie can bring.
Not worth it.
Number 4. The Rumble, West Side Story. The musical rendition of Romeo and Juliet would be incomplete without its own spectacular street standoff. Probably the most theatrical of all the fights on this list, Bernardo and Riff brandish knives as the leaders of their respective gangs for a very personal showdown. Gymnastic and loud is the fight, which also features impressive dodges and an epic musical score. While the ending is tragic, its inspiration has been felt everywhere in pop culture since. Number 3. Ajax, Snow, and Cowboy versus the baseball Furies, the Warriors. It's time to come out and play with this epic synthesized duel.
Warriors, come out to play.
Chasing our heroes down to Riverside Park, the baseball Furies seek to face off against the remaining Warriors in a bats versus fists standoff.
Hey!
Starting out on the losing end, the Warriors fight to disarm the Babe Ruth wannabes while making a few popsicle-based threats along the way.
I'll shove that bat up your ass and turn you into a popsicle.
Eventually getting the home run advantage and taking down their titular opponents. It's just one of many great fights in this street fighting epic. Number 2. Football fight, Green Street Hooligans. If you plan on visiting England anytime soon, choose your football team wisely. Enraptured by his West Ham United companions, Matt Buckner faces his first pre-match fight against Birmingham City supporters. Unmatched and outnumbered, the Green Street Elite go head-to-head in a bloody and bottle-filled bash that gives little Elijah Wood a taste of football hooliganism, along with his own blood. The Hammers versus the Blues is prideful in its nature, and the type of street fight most likely to occur regularly in the real streets of London. Before we unveil our number 1 pick, here are a few honorable mentions.
You're my mission.
Then finish it. 'Cause I'm with you to the end of the line. Mother.
Number 1. Rocky Balboa versus Tommy Gunn, Rocky 5.
My ring's outside.
Yeah? Let's student.
The good student goes bad in what was originally intended to be the final entry of the Rocky franchise. Mad with ego and dismayed at his public opinion, Tommy Gunn ushers his former mentor out for a final battle to prove his worth. But Rocky prefers to fight outside the ring. Starting as a small brawl outside the bar, the fight turns into a grand spectacle for any would-be passerby.
I didn't hear no bell.
Throwing each other through steel fences and cars, Rocky proves that he's much more than a boxer. So maybe he could have beaten Hulk Hogan after all. Do you agree with our list?
It's a very hard one to call.
Which movie street fight would you go all out for? For more ass-kicking top 10s published every day, be sure to subscribe to WatchMojo.com.
I wanted to breathe smoke.